About 13 years ago, TLC had the bright idea to create a reality show that would give the opportunity to showcase to the world why they're in their position and to maybe find a partner or at a push find somebody that might want to be intimate with them or maybe even just make a new friend. But the problem is that for most shows like this, it's for one, for the most part, almost completely scripted, but two, the times that it's not scripted, but it is heavily pushed in a certain direction by producers that want the episode to turn out in a specific way, and this episode of this show being a perfect example of that. The of the day for this episode was a guy named Scott Jessup, who goes by the online name I Am Skippy, or I think back in those days he went by the name Skippy the something like that. He was born and raised in Utah in a mostly Mormon community and graduated from Utah Valley University for a degree in broadcast journalism, which probably explains why he has his own YouTube channel. Now, I'm just going to be honest. Off the jump, I could already tell that this man is clearly very mentally disturbed and mentally challenged. I could just tell by the way that he responds to certain questions and his mannerisms. But another thing that I noticed in the first 10 seconds of the episode is just how narcissistic this person is and how delusional this person is.
I want a girl to be like, wait, how are you still single?
I mean, it was pretty easy to tell how egotistical he is just based on the fact of how much he takes pride in the fact that he's still this late into his life without having slept with anybody and also living in his mom's basement at the exact same time. Now, it's also worth mentioning that, of course, out of all people on this planet that I get to share a birthday with, it's gotta be this but whatever. It's really obvious that he genuinely believes that this outlandish and depraved lifestyle makes him better than his peers and more deserving of a partner than his peers. We're then introduced to his weird t-shirt collection, I think, where he brands all this weird merch that he himself actually created, where it seems like he's trying to brand himself as some kind of celebrity and like it's some kind of honor to have kissed him or given him some kind of intimate affection, which is yet again another product of his narcissism and self-righteousness. And then we get a glimpse of his mom, who is just as mentally deranged as he is.
My role is wing mom, and so I'll kind of keep an eye on the ladies.
His mother's job is to pretty much stalk Skippy's dates without their permission. And like mother, like son, I guess, she has to wear a t-shirt to remind you in the world of that.
When I meet the girl that I fall in love with, I want her and my mom to be really good friends.
Now, this is actually one thing that I don't 100% disagree with, because I think that it's important to, along the way, introduce your future girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case is, to your parents. But it's just, you don't do that on the first date, man. So after this, we cut to a scene where Skippy goes to a dance to try to meet women. And this right here is actually the start of just where you can really see how depraved Skippy and his mother is just as people.
There's a white t-shirt over there that looks like she might be this one. Would you like to dance? I'd love to dance.
You know, I totally forgot to put on clothes. I feel embarrassed because usually I smell really good.
So at this point, I think it's pretty easy to tell that Skippy probably enjoys making women uncomfortable, because I think it's pretty plain to see that he just treats this whole lifestyle that he lives as some kind of spectacle or as some way for him to gain internet fame or just fame in general. And it's really sad because, as you're going to see a lot later, he genuinely makes people so uncomfortable and so reserved to even want to speak to him.
Thank you for the dance.
Thank you.
That was fun. Do you want to meet my mom?
So Skippy's friend Jimmy throws him a party to try to have him meet women, and as you probably expect, things don't really start off too good.
I've got so much more personality than any other guy in here. Like, it's a race for number 2, because the funniest, the most creative guy just walked into the room.
Skippy parades around this party, of course, wearing a shirt that says fun, single, and ready to mingle, and meets his first victim named Stephanie. Now, his friend Jimmy actually spits a little bit of truth.
I see Skippy do certain things, I'm just like, oh man, somebody's got to talk to this guy.
If you do want to kiss me, my answer is yes, and then you can have this awesome shirt.
But what if I kiss you on the cheek?
No. It says I made out with Skippy for 3 minutes.
Good googly moogly, this is too much.
I need a girlfriend. I'm in a rut in my life. where I need companionship.
A romantic partner should 100% of the time be a want instead of a need, because if you live your whole life thinking that a romantic partner is going to complete you or that it's a complete necessity to have in your life, you're doing it all wrong. I mean, I've been single my whole life and I'm pushing 21, and even I know this. I mean, that's not to say I haven't lost my V card or anything, but I mean, I'm just saying that if you treat a relationship like a necessity and something that you need to have in your life, that's one, going to make your life as a single person a million times harder, because you pretty much admitted to yourself that you're in a rut in your life and that you need, like Skippy said, that you're in a rut in your life and you need companionship. And two, that's actually going to make, once the day actually comes that you are in a relationship, it's going to make that a million times harder, because you're not going into it fully prepared for the downsides that come with it, and the relationship is probably going to die out pretty quickly because you're not fully prepared to deal with everything that comes with it.
What Jimmy has in muscles, I have in personality.
That is the most rehearsed line I've ever heard in my life, dude.
I'm awesome. I'm really awesome, and I'm a good person. And if you got to know me, you would think so too.
I really, he just has the kindest heart. He's so sweet.
Alright, there is just so much wrong with that 5-second clip that I just showed you. For one, I mean, if you would just like look at the weirdly frightened look on her face when she's describing how polite and kind he is really off-putting. And two, that's really all she's describing, because, I mean, 9 times out of 10, if a woman is really into you, she's going to describe a lot more than just how nice and polite and kind you are, because, and also it's also pretty easy to believe that she probably doesn't even really think that. She's just saying it for the camera. And 3, I mean, the entire time while she's supposedly describing positive aspects about this guy, she's shaking her head rapidly, which usually means that they don't really believe what they're saying.
He's great. He's a great kid.
She even called him a kid, when by the looks of it, he looks minimum 5 years older than her. Oh boy.
How many guys that you've gone on dates with in the last year still live at home?
Man, you're doing great, Skippy.
Next question.
Do you have your future kids' names picked out?
No.
I've had my future kids' names picked out since I was 14.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I've got a surprise. Don't go anywhere if you want to kind of clean this up or something like that, but I'll be right back down.
If I need to explain why what I just saw is the definition of coma-inducing cringe, then we've failed as a generation. So Skippy's surprise is a guy who comes in and plays music and sings for them, which is totally fine, but in this scene, I would say that this is where the cringiness and awkwardness and uncomfortability, if that's even a word, reaches an all-time high.
Oh, I want to be them.
Oh,
Skippy forcefully spins her around and pins her to him in an attempt to do some kind of slow dance or whatever he said, when the reality of the situation is that looks more like the Heimlich maneuver than an actual dance. And again, you can see with her body language how uncomfortable she clearly is, and you can also see how, of course, oblivious Skippy is to that. And just as I thought this date, if you even want to call it that, couldn't get any worse, he takes her upstairs as she's about to leave and gives her the grand finale of sorts.
Maybe if I ask nicely, can I please just give you a kiss?
Then she starts, like, negotiating where to kiss him.
Can I give you?
Does that work?
Can I just give you a kiss?
And then, like a horror movie jump scare, his mom comes out to, again, stalk his date without her permission.
A guy wanting to kiss a girl shouldn't be a shock to a cute girl. It should kind of be expected, right?
And you'd be partially right on that, except for the fact that it comes from the that gives off the vibe of the waiter from iCarly that spat in Spencer's chili fries. This is probably the worst and most disturbing episode of any episode of television I've probably ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of any show of any kind, reality or otherwise, that so willingly puts a person with a clear series of mental illnesses on a pedestal to prey on and victimize innocent people, I'm sure just for the sake of ratings. I mean, the cringe is just able to be felt through the screen, and I'm so glad that the comment section really emphasizes that for you. I really hope that since this episode's aired, that Skippy's gotten the help that he clearly needs, because I'm honestly really surprised that TLC hasn't gotten sued since this episode came out.